So for those of you who don't know, there are two main ways to use mass Hog Riders at Town Hall 7. One is to use a line of hogs on the opposite side of the king and just let the wall of hogs move their way through the base. The second variation is one where you use a couple hogs to cut off the path for the Hog Riders, and then you let the rest of the hogs move their way together through the base. That is what we're going to be focusing on in this video. So it's best to think of this attack as a three-phase attack. The first thing you're going to be doing is dealing with the clan castle troops. You're going to lure them out of the clan castle. You're going to drag them away from all the defenses so you can kill them easily, and then of course you will kill them so they can't kill your Hog Riders. Second phase is to use just as many hogs as needed to cut off the path, and we'll go into a visual example of this later, so that you can drop the rest of your hogs and that they will stay together rather than scatter all over the base like in the wall of hogs. The last step will be to support your Hog Riders. Since they'll all be in one group, it'll be easier to do this. You're going to follow them, you're going to heal them, and then you are going to clean up the trash behind them with wizards. Now, as far as the army goes, is pretty self-explanatory. The obvious star of the show is going to be your Hog Riders. You're going to bring about 25. You're going to bring all heals. No reason to overthink this. You're going to bring some giants for two reasons. One, for your meat shield, and two, to help kill the king, and we'll go over the method for how to do that later. I like to bring a dragon to help kill the clan castle, because if you have something like a witch and a Valkyrie in the clan castle, you're going to want that dragon. It makes it so much more troop efficient and easy. The archers are just to distract the clan castle troops while the dragon kills it, in case it is a dragon. The wizards are there for cleanup. Now, the barbarians will be there for one of two reasons. One, it'll be there to lure the CC, and on most good bases, you should be able to lure the CC with a barbarian. Two will be to drag the CC troops into a corner if there isn't a good anchor for an archer. Now, the last thing that I need to go over before we get into the replays are the three threats to your Hog Riders. Now, one of the examples is not an obliteration of a base. It is just to show the power of these three things to your Hog Riders, okay? Hogs are not invincible at Town Hall 7. You need to pay attention. If you have a large group, go between two defenses like the archer tower and the air defense you see here that have a double giant bomb, a well-placed double giant bomb, and they trigger them at the same time, you cannot heal through that, okay? The hogs will die. The second thing is if the Barbarian King is chasing the hogs for too long, he will be able to pick off a few of them. And then the last thing is well-placed spring traps. Whenever you have spring traps in a one tile gap between two defenses, like the spring trap between the archer tower and the air sweeper you see here, those traps are going to be effective, especially if you have bumpers, which are walls designed to corral hogs into those spring traps, which you'll also see in this video. For the first video, we're going to be looking at an attack against a more common base design. I use a barbarian to lure the clan castle troops. To save space, anytime you can use a barbarian, you go ahead and do it. Now we have a witch and two wizards, which can be a pain to deal with, but all I'm going to do is use my archers to drag them into the corner. And what I want is for the witch to finish spawning skeletons and separate from the wizards and the skeletons. And I'm going to drop the dragon on the witch. Dragon's gonna die, and then I'm gonna use archers to kill the rest of everything. And then once this is done, my dragon is still gonna be alive, albeit barely, and he's actually gonna help with the cleanup, okay? So the dragon doesn't just help with that. Now, you can see here, I dropped my giant because there are those two defenses that I can tank and allow my hogs to take less damage when they're first being entered, okay? So I have a small group trigger those giant bombs there, which means I get to save a heal spell. Now here's a little trick for eliminating the Barbarian King when he is close to these outside of the base. As you can see, the Barbarian King is outside. We can drop a giant so that the Barbarian King attacks the giant, and while that happens, we're going to drop the Barbarian King. I like to drop a wizard, though it's not necessary, and then I use the ability to make sure the Barbarian King never attacks our Hog Riders. Now once I've done that, I immediately go back and follow my Hog Riders, and I drop the heals to make sure to keep them alive. So towards the end of this raid, you can see my Hog Riders are good and healthy, and by the way, this is a completely max base. It's just not very well built. But anyways, I was able to take out this max base with only 2 heal spells, and I didn't even have to use those max Hog Riders in the clan castle. Now, the next replay is going to be a much closer one, and it's because I make a big mistake when I'm scouting the base. The one downside to this strategy is you do have a big group of hogs, which makes them more susceptible to that double giant bomb, and you're going to see how that can go wrong in the next replay. So as promised, I'm going to show you a much closer replay. Now, since I cannot lure those CC troops with a barbarian, I use a Hog Rider, okay? Now notice here, I don't put the archer on the builder's hut right away. I put it on a building close to it. The reason is the builder hut has very little health. If that builder's hut goes down, then I'm going to lose my anchor. But anyways, I patiently wait for the CC troops to make it out to the corner. I keep dropping archers so that the witch keeps coming over. Now with this witch Valkyrie CC, it's very hard if you don't have the dragon. But since I have a dragon, literally all you have to do is drop the dragon on the witch and then just wait a couple seconds for the dragon to finish off all the skeletons and the Valkyrie. So it's the lure troops, the troops you use to drag them over, and then 20 more troop space and you have them down. That's the most efficient way to kill that CC. My goal is to take out those 2 archer towers and the cannon so that I can send my hogs into the wizard tower, archer tower, and cannon, and the other cannon, to keep my hogs together. Now they take out those 4 defenses. Now I know my hogs are going to stay together, but that's a problem. Remember what I said about double giant bomb placements. When you have 2 tile gaps between this cannon and archer air defense, boom, it goes down. Now even if I healed there, that group of hogs would have died, so I only have a few hogs left here, and as you can see, 2 of my max hogs have already been sprung, and then you're gonna see another 2, I believe, get sprung over here as well. Okay, they go over to this cannon, and then there's another spring trap right there. Boom, there's another 2 maxed level hogs. And now I have 2 defenses left, and they can't get through it fast enough to survive the Barbarian King. But as you can see, my dragon is still alive, okay? And he actually helps clean this up. So there are definitely more than one use for that dragon, for helping kill the CC and for cleaning. And I just stay calm and make sure I put my cleanup troops, and the cleanup troops alone are able to finish off the base. So this last replay is just for good measure and to reaffirm the way you can kill the Barbarian King, who is exposed but not quite as exposed as he was in the first one. Now in this one, as you can see, you can't even lure the CC with 1 hog. But Colton here is using as many hogs as he has to get inside that range, okay? And he's very patient. He uses 5 hogs here, which is not a bad thing. You could just always use as many. Now that should probably be an archer. But he uses the max dragon in the CC. I don't recommend that, but the max dragon does have a lot more HP, so he's even less likely than a level 2 dragon would be to go down after the hogs are started. Now remember, that dragon's still alive. He's still going to help clean up, okay? You can already see that he drops his first hogs, and he also drops his Barbarian King so that he can kill the enemy Barbarian King. And as you can see, all the high DPS single target point defenses are towards the edge, so all he really has to do is drop 3 on each of them, which is what he's doing here. And once the hogs get into the middle, all they have to do is deal with the mortars, and mortars are probably the most useless defense at every town hall level, frankly. And at this point, he still has 2 heals left. He didn't even have to use the first one. He has 2 hogs left, and now he just drops his wizards because this base is completely crushed. So if you can use the level 2 dragon to kill the CC and keep the CC troops distracted while the dragon kills them, then the dragon will continue on to go into the base afterwards. So keep that in mind as well. So in conclusion, just remember to follow the steps and watch for the threats. Okay, you cannot heal through spring traps, and you cannot heal through double bombs. So as long as you do that, you should be just fine crushing Town Hall 7 bases. As usual, I hope this was helpful. It better have been helpful. Since it was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, do it, or else I'll hunt you down and I'll pee in your cereal.